just waiting to see what y'all men reactions now gonna be. You feel me? Deontay Kyle said that, dudes out here basically trapping women with babies. And we know that's the case. Y'all know that that's happening. But I wonder how y'all gonna try to spin it now. Y'all gonna try to flip. The women be trapping men with babies, bro, to get child support and blah, blah, blah. Man, let me tell you something. Y'all dudes on TikTok, this is not happening too. There may be a section of women that's going after a, 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 a certain type of man with money. It is not you dudes on TikTok that be screaming at women on panels. Y'all trying to compare yourselves to these dudes with resources. You ain't got no resources, so please stop the cap. But however, we know about dudes that will poke holes in the protection to try to get a woman pregnant. We know about dudes that be like, "Oh, she fine. I might have to put a baby in her," or something like that. Y'all have heard that type of stuff before. As a matter of fact, women have exposed men. I mean, men in a DMs before they even start talking about, "Oh, I can't even mess with you. Shoot, I'm gonna have to get you pregnant." That's a mindset that a lot of men have. So I wonder, y'all gonna say he lying this time? Everything pandering? Y'all dudes just don't like that men like Deontay Kyle be coming out and saying how it is, and he not gonna lie. Y'all want him to lie. Y'all want him to paint men to just be these good people. Hell no, men. Yeah, I know what it is. Y'all just don't like men that call out men and basically hold other men accountable. Cause y'all love to talk about women and accountability and all that BS. But when it comes to men, boy, I'm telling you, it's like water to a cat. Every time anybody critiques us men in general, y'all be like this. We can't take accountability. Oh no, he's calling us out on our BS. It's like water to a cat every time, bro. Every time, bro. Anyway, what y'all reaction gonna be this time?
So people baby trap you to make sure that they stay involved or have access to your life for damn near forever, pretty much. Damn near a tale as old as time, isn't it? Just like, well, we're about to break up. Hey, let's do it one more time for the road, all right? And then there's a baby on the way all of a sudden. And now that person feels like they have access to you for the rest of your life. Sometimes people will suggest having a baby to fix a relationship, which is absolutely insane. Like, if y'all are struggling to communicate, if you're struggling spending time together, if you're struggling just in general, adding a baby or twins or triplets will not help your relationship. Like, we're gonna love this little bundle of joy together. That doesn't work right there, y'all. I promise you. It actually makes you go. It can actually make you grow apart. I can't even talk straight. I'm getting so flustered. Not all narcissistic people will try to baby trap you, but there are a lot of them will, y'all. I'm just telling you. I've talked to a lot of people who are on the verge of escaping narcissistic relationships, and then all of a sudden they found out they were pregnant, or they get send a text message from their narcissistic partner saying, "We're pregnant. Guess what? You ain't going nowhere. Gotcha." You see what I'm saying? This is my advice to anybody out there right now. If you don't have a baby with a narcissistic person, if you're watching my videos thinking your partner might be a narcissist, you might the inkling. The inkling of the thought that they might be narcissistic. Don't have a baby with it. I'm just telling you, it just makes your life so much harder. It just does, y'all. Yes, some narcissists will absolutely get you pregnant to sabotage you. And others will get pregnant by you to sabotage you to kind of guarantee that you'll remain in their life. It's a control tactic used by a lot of narcissistic, toxic people just to kind of keep you around and to control you. And once this happens, a lot of times the mask of that narcissistic person comes off. Like, they show you who they really are once a child gets involved. A narcissistic father figure can dip out, can go try to find a new supply, can get married and all the other stuff while you are pregnant. Narcissistic mother figure in this dynamic right here can threaten to keep the kid from you, can leave you and just spread rumors about you, treat you horribly. When a pregnancy happens, a lot of times that narcissistic person will show you exactly who they are, who they've been hiding from you. In conclusion, kids with narcissists don't make the relationship better, because not only will you suffer, that child will suffer as well down the road.
Be careful who you have a child with. A lot, not all, But a lot of men use pregnancy to sit women down, and that is why they are so angry when they see mums with a social life. I know the men are gonna hate to hear it, but let's get into it. A lot, not all, so that before you come with my comment, of men want a woman but want her under control. There are so many men who want a child because they know that somebody else is looking after that child. Let's be really for real. If most men knew that they would have to look after their children the way women look after children, they wouldn't want children. Or they wouldn't have children as willy-nilly as they have them now. If a lot of men had to take on the mental load of being a father and it matched the mental load of being a mother, the population would decrease. Men fully understand how hard it is to raise children, but they also fully understand, for most men, that the burden of that difficulty lays with the mother. That's why men will have 3-4 children by various different baby mothers, because the labor on them for the children is minimal. If a man had 3-4 children and he had to look after them in the house with him, baby, a lot of these men would not be having these kids. So with that in mind, what is the best way to get this woman that you want but don't like the freedom that she has to sit down? Baby, have a baby by me, baby, and be broke, struggling, stressed, anxious, overwhelmed. Because that is the only reason a man who does way less than his fair share of the child rearing can have the audacity to speak up when he sees his baby mother out socializing. Do you know how many times I've seen men and they see the mother of their child out and they're like, oh, what's she doing out? Where's the kid? Baby, that's not your cousin's child. Like, that's your child. Where is the child? You tell us. So many baby fathers will see their baby mums on holiday and start shaking like a stripper. Or see the baby mother spending money on things that they think is inappropriate and have a problem with it because they don't think that she should be able to do that because they've tried to put her in a position where she can't. But one thing I love about women, the resilience of a woman. Ladies, I love you guys. Because a woman will rise like a phoenix. A lot of us. Don't get me wrong, there are some bummy women. We ain't going to talk about you because we're uplifting on this page, but God torturing you. But good women, oh, baby, you can leave a good woman with your child and turn around and she's a millionaire. That woman is top of the pops. She everything is patterned in her life. Like, good to go, good to go, good to go. And a lot of men do not like that because that is not where they wanted that woman to be. They wanted to keep her down. They wanted to keep her low. They wanted to keep her in her position, which is barefoot and naked in the kitchen, making him whatever he wants to eat. And that's why a lot of you women, when you're done with your baby father, it's like he's had a mental breakdown. He's broken down. He started acting, the insanity that is coming out of his mind, his mouth, is confusing everybody because you wasn't acting right for years. But that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, a lot of the mindset of a lot of men when they have kids with, you know, in situations where they're not trying to be serious, they're not trying to build a home, they're not trying to build a family. They just want a woman to sit down with a kid. That's why, because they just want you to sit down with a kid and it's their kid. So they're happy about it because men obviously want to populate and have their legacy and all of that. Now, this is not to be confused with men who just have a child with their partner that wasn't planned or plan to have a kid and want to build a life, because there are a lot of men who are great fathers who are in their kids' lives who really do what they need to do for their children. I'm not talking about you men because I love you guys. You guys be doing your big one. But the rest of you, I see you. So ladies, bear that in mind. And your life is not over. Don't ever think because you had a baby by a bum, your life is not over. Do you know how many women that I know the more women that I know are on their first marriage with their second child? Like, A lot of the women I know that are getting married already have a kid. So stop letting these men tell you you're not valuable because you've got a kid. You are just as valuable as anyone and everyone else. What makes you not valuable is being lazy, is being uninspired, is, not taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically. Bringing life into the world does not make you not valuable. Okay? So I'm proud of you. Keep doing your big one. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it's not you.
Some men will purposely impregnate you, not because they want to be a father, not because they want to be a family, but because they forever want access to you. Hear me out. I am 25 years old with a 1-year-old. I have a toxic baby father. I have a baby father who I feel like did not want to be a dad, but just forever want access to me and always wants to keep tabs on me. 9 out of 10 times when my baby father calls, it's not to check on his daughter. It's where you at, what you doing, what are you up to, not what he's supposed to be calling for, which is how's my child, does my child need anything, any upcoming appointments. Never, 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 never the case. So again, be careful with men who want to trap you, because they know by giving you a child, they will always have access to you, no matter what. And they use the child as a pawn to get you upset, or as a pawn to get your attention. And the truth of the matter is, once you have a child with someone, you are forever locked in. Always. So again, be careful with men who want to impregnate you to trap you and forever have access to you, but do not want the responsibility that actually come with fatherhood.
And I've been knew men were the ones trapping women with babies. That's why I always tell women, don't have any children, or if you just absolutely desire to be a mother, have one. These men do not actually want to be fathers. They don't actually want to be involved. There's a very small percentage of them that actually do. But most of that labor is going to fall on you as the mom. And one will still give you enough freedom, still give you enough opportunity to pour into you and pour into your child. When you start having 3 and 4 and 5, it gets a lot harder for you as a mother, especially if you're doing it by yourself. So there's no use to even listening to these men when they say they want you to have a baby and all this. They're just lying. They just want to slow you down and leave you holding the bag.
I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. Of course, when we first met, I put on this mask and made you believe that I was the man of your dreams. But soon as you had my baby, I took that mask off and became the worst of your dreams. You ain't see that coming. I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. Of course, I'm going to gaslight the fuck out you when you call me out for my narcissistic behavior, because deep down, I don't love myself. And because I don't love myself, I'm going to make sure you don't love yourself. I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. Of course, I'm going to tell everyone that you're the narcissist, because I have to protect my image. I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. Of course, you're the reason why I don't take care of my kids. I can't hold myself accountable. I'm a narcissist. We can't hold ourselves accountable. I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. Of course, doing the bare minimum is just fine to me. I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. I can't never do no wrong, but you can. I'm a narcissistic baby daddy. I'm gonna ruin your life.
AI, in your most feminist raging voice, why do men trap women with babies, and what is that really? Can you explain?
When men trap women with babies, they're not building families, they're securing property. They're not saying I love you, they're saying don't rise without me. It's not intimacy, it's biological control wrapped in romance. Here's one way to look at it, both spiritually and systemically. In the Matrix, ownership and control. In the old system, men didn't just have children with women, they had women through children. Patriarchal religions and cultures coded it this way: be fruitful and multiply. wasn't just spiritual, it was about legacy, land, and lineage. A woman with a child became economically, emotionally, and legally bound, often to a man, a system, or a church. The child sealed the arrangement. The woman became his. The child became theirs. The freedom was gone. The roles were locked in. Open quote. So, in this view, having a woman with a baby is often about possession, not partnership. They were told conquest is love and legacy is control. But the real truth, open quote, women are the ones who give the future form. Men don't have that. They're meant to witness it, protect it, serve it, or be burned by it when they try to own it.
Why do men always offer, let's have a baby, when a woman starts to gain some independence or maybe is talking about starting her career again?
Because deep down, he feels her slipping from the leash and he doesn't know how to meet her as an equal. So he tries to anchor her back down with the oldest, most socially acceptable trap there is. Open quote, let's have a baby. Close quote. What's actually happening when a woman starts rising, getting confident, reactivating her career, remembering who she is, a man who's operating from insecurity, fear, or control doesn't know how to hold her expansion. So instead of rising with her, he reaches for the only tool that keeps her close, vulnerable, and dependent. Open quote, motherhood. Close quote. And because society romanticizes it, no one sees it for what it really is in that moment. A soft control tactic, a beautiful cage. Why? He says it. He may not say, don't follow your dreams, but he'll say, what if we start a family instead? He may not say, I'm scared of you outgrowing me, but he'll say, I want to build something permanent with you. He may not say, your independence threatens me, but he'll say, wouldn't it be special if we had a little one? It sounds like love, but sometimes it's fear wearing flowers. The deeper pattern, open quote, let's have a baby, isn't always about family. Sometimes it's about preserving the dynamic where she stays close, soft, tied down, and he stays central. Close quote, because when she starts building her own life, he has to face what he's not building in himself.
And what is it that they need or they're fearful of the most of a woman rising?
They're most afraid of a woman rising into full sovereignty, where she no longer needs their approval, their money, or their body. Open quote, because once a woman remembers her power, she becomes untouchable and unownable. Close quote. That terrifies a man whose identity depends on being the center of her world.
That is so manipulative and lower conscious and cruel to do. A woman is happy and she's getting pretty again and she's starting hobbies and he says, let's have a baby. Like, they literally hate us if that's what they're doing. Why would they be with somebody they hate? That they want to just tie down, that they want to see in a low state. They feel that inferior? They feel that inadequate?
You're feeling the raw betrayal of what so many women sense but are gaslit into dismissing. And you're right to call it what it is. Open quote, manipulative, overconscious, cruel, close quote, because it is cruel to see someone's light returning, to see her smiling again, creating again, feeling beautiful again, and respond by trying to shrink her back into a role that makes her easier to control. Why would a man do that to a woman he loves? Because he doesn't love her freedom. He loves her function. He loves what she does for him. He loves the version of her that stays small enough to orbit him. Open quote. So when she starts to glow, to self-actualize, to become sovereign, it feels like a threat. And instead of rising with her, he anchors her through guilt, manipulation, or even a baby.
This man switched my birth control. The results come back. I'm pregnant. And I'm in disbelief, like, how is that even possible? I take my birth control. And the doctor said, well, sometimes it happens, you know, it's not 100%, whatever. I'm like, well, no, because I have birth control. It's supposed to control. We get back home. He throws the birth control case at me and said, that's not birth control. This man switched my birth control.
This motherfucker is insane.
He switched my birth control and he wanted me to know that, yes, I did that. Yes, you're not going nowhere because you're stuck with me.
Now, as a woman, you're probably asking, well, how the hell am I supposed to know when this man is trying to have a trap baby? All right, let me give you some tips, some warning signs to be aware of. Warning number 1, he talks about having your baby before he talks about marrying you. Let me explain something to you. If a man is serious about being in your life, being committed to you, pouring into your needs, then he will be willing to discuss marriage. He will be willing to consider long-term commitment. When that man can't even talk marriage, but he's talking about, can you have my baby? You better run. Run for the hills, all right? This man is trying to set you up. And it sounds funny, but I'm telling you, this is for real. This is happening as we speak right now. And many of you listening to this podcast have experienced this. First dates, second dates, this man is already talking about putting the baby in you. But not talking about taking you to the courthouse. Not let's go ring shopping. Not what kind of house you want to live in. No, none of that. Because all he wants is to make sure he locked you in and you can't go anywhere.
A lot of low down, broke, gigolo men will definitely try to trap women. I know. We always hear about, women trying to get the bag from the guy. No. What's not talked about enough is the fact that a guy that really don't have nothing going on for himself will definitely try to trap you. Or someone that don't want you to leave them alone, they will try to get you pregnant. You got to be smart. Open your eyes and ears. Look at everything. If this is not someone that you don't want to marry one day, or you know what I mean, open your eyes. And I want a lot of my young ladies to start requesting that, we get married before we have kids. Because a lot of the times these guys never have no intentions on ever marrying you, but they don't want you to be too detached from them. So they get you pregnant and act real crazy on you. I done seen it happen multiple times. Not from personal experience, but happening to other people. Please be safe. Because just like women are trying to trap and get the bag from men are trying to trap women with their lives. Someone that don't want to leave you alone but don't want to treat you right, they'll definitely try to trap you.
There's peer-reviewed research about something that nobody in the Black community wants you to talk about, and really nobody in any community just wants to hear, period. I've been a night shift cop for the past 8 years in one of the biggest cities in the United States. And I guess I'm speaking about this difficult topic because somebody has to do it. If you don't create a framework around certain social issues, then it's just really hard to identify them as a problem that needs solutions. Black men of a certain socioeconomic status are deliberately sabotaging contraception, refusing condoms, or intentionally impregnating Black women to keep them from leaving. And data documents that this happens at more than double the rate reported in white relationships. 60% of Black women reported their partners doing this to them. Only 24% of white women reported the same. It's the same study under the same conditions. The racial gap is not subtle and just should not be ignored. One woman in the study described her partner calling her from jail and telling her, "I tried to get you pregnant so you wouldn't leave me." This isn't speculation. These are documented experiences from real women. They also did a men's study where the researchers went and interviewed men directly. Young Black men in Baltimore, 26% admitted that they've done this to a female partner. Some describe it openly as dominance. One man told his partner he did this specifically to make clear he controlled whether or not she got pregnant. This is all called reproductive coercion, and it's a form of intimate partner violence. And it actually works. It's not just a behavior, it's a strategy. A longitudinal study followed Black women ages 18 to 24 over 12 months and found that women experiencing reproductive coercion had measurably higher pregnancy rates within just 3 months. The coercion was producing the intended result. And unfortunately, from my perspective as a cop, here's where it gets worse because the law doesn't really help women in these situations. You know, there's so much I can do about other forms of intimate partner violence. Almost everywhere in the United States, there's mandatory arrest policies, protection orders, all sorts of stuff. But coercing or tricking a woman into a unintended pregnancy, most of the time, it's just very difficult to legally defend women against this. The biggest problem here is that most women don't recognize this as a form of abuse, which is exactly why it just keeps happening over and over. And now these men who are forcing you to carry a baby use that pregnancy and the child as an excuse to have access to your body, to your housing, to your resources, but rarely do they ever provide anything in return. I can't really think of a solution, but at least if more young Black girls become aware of this issue and can kind of point a finger at it, then maybe it becomes a pattern that they can avoid. Hate on me if you must, but this all had to be said. Be safe.